In the dead of night, clutching her swollen belly, Mia was thrown out onto the cold, unforgiving street. The heavy oak door of the mansion slammed shut, the sound echoing like a death knell for her old life. Just hours ago, she was a maid, invisible, scrubbing floors and dreaming of a better future for the two tiny lives growing inside her. Now, she was homeless, penniless, and utterly alone. Her crime? Daring to fall for the young master of the house, a man who whispered sweet promises in the dark and then denied her, and his own children, in the light of day. The matriarch of the family, a woman with ice in her veins, had pointed a trembling, jeweled finger at the door. "Get out!" she had hissed, "and never show your face here again. You and your bastards are a disgrace." Mia stumbled through the deserted streets, tears blurring the city lights into a watery kaleidoscope. Each step was a struggle, a battle against despair. The world she knew had crumbled, leaving nothing but sharp, painful edges. How could he do this? How could the man she thought she loved abandon her so cruelly? The promises of a life together, of a family, now felt like a cruel joke. She found a cold, hard bench in a forgotten corner of a park and collapsed, her body trembling with a mixture of fear, exhaustion, and a fierce, protective love for her unborn twins. She placed a hand on her stomach, a silent vow passing between them. "I will protect you. I will find a way, no matter what." As the first rays of dawn painted the sky in shades of pink and orange, a sleek black car purred to a stop just a few feet away. The back door opened and a man in an impeccably tailored suit stepped out. He was tall, with a presence that seemed to command the very air around him. His eyes, sharp and intelligent, scanned the park before they landed on Mia, huddled on the bench. For a moment, their eyes met. She saw not pity, but a flicker of something else. Understanding, perhaps? He walked towards her, his expensive leather shoes making no sound on the damp pavement. Mia tensed, her hand instinctively tightening over her belly. Was he here to cause more trouble? "Are you all right?" His voice was deep, calm, and surprisingly gentle. It was a voice that held authority without arrogance. Mia, startled, could only nod, unable to find her own voice. He didn't press her. Instead, he simply took off his designer coat, a piece that probably cost more than she had ever earned in a year, and draped it over her trembling shoulders. The warmth of the fabric, still holding his body heat, was a small but profound comfort in the chilly morning air. "My name is Ethan," he said, offering a small, reassuring smile. "It's not safe for you to be out here alone. Especially not." He gestured gently towards her stomach. "Come with me. I have a place where you can be warm and safe. I promise, no harm will come to you." Mia hesitated. Every instinct screamed at her to be wary of strangers, especially wealthy, powerful-looking men. Her last encounter had left her shattered. But looking into Ethan's steady gaze, she saw none of the deceit she'd seen in her ex-lover's eyes. She saw only genuine concern. And what other choice did she have? Spend another night on the streets, risking her health and the health of her babies? Taking a leap of faith, a leap born from desperation, she allowed him to help her to her feet. As he led her to the car, she felt a tiny, fragile seed of hope begin to sprout in the barren landscape of her heart. Maybe, just maybe, this was not the end of her story, but the beginning of an entirely new chapter. The car glided through the city streets, to a penthouse apartment that seemed to touch the clouds. The luxury was overwhelming, a world away from the servants' quarters she had just been evicted from. Ethan showed her to a guest room that was bigger than the entire floor she used to live on. "Rest," he said softly. "There's food in the kitchen. We can talk when you're ready." And then he left her alone, giving her space. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, Mia felt safe. She took a warm shower, ate a proper meal, and fell into the softest bed she had ever known, sleeping for 12 straight hours. When she awoke, she felt human again. Over the next few days, a strange and quiet routine developed. Ethan would go to work, running what Mia soon discovered was a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and she would have the penthouse to herself. He never pried, never asked about her past. he simply provided. He arranged for a doctor to visit her, ensuring she and the twins were healthy. He filled the fridge with nutritious food and bought her comfortable maternity clothes. He treated her not as a charity case, but as a respected guest. One evening, as they shared a simple dinner he'd cooked himself, Mia finally found the courage to speak. She told him everything. About her life as a maid, the whirlwind romance, the betrayal, and the crushing humiliation of being cast out. Ethan listened without interruption, his expression unreadable but his attention absolute. When she finished, her voice thick with unshed tears, he didn't offer empty platitudes. He simply said, "His name was Leo Vance, wasn't it? The Vance family. I know them." A cold fury entered his eyes, a stark contrast to his usual calm demeanor. "What they did to you is unforgivable. No one deserves to be treated that way." He then revealed a shocking truth. The Vance family were his company's biggest rivals. They had built their empire on ruthless tactics and shady dealings, a stark contrast to Ethan's own ethical approach to business. And in that moment, something shifted between them. Her personal tragedy was now connected to his professional world. A plan began to form, a silent partnership forged in the ashes of Mia's past. Ethan, with his resources and intellect, saw an opportunity not just for revenge, but for justice. "They took your dignity, your home," he said, his voice low and determined. "We're going to take everything from them." Mia, who had only ever known how to be small and silent, felt a fire ignite within her. It was no longer just about survival. It was about fighting back. She provided Ethan with inside information she had overheard as a maid, conversations about secret deals, vulnerabilities, and internal conflicts within the Vance family. Information she had never thought would be useful was now a weapon. As weeks turned into months, Mia blossomed under Ethan's care. She was no longer just a pregnant, discarded maid. She was a key player in a high-stakes corporate battle. She read business journals, learned about the stock market, and offered surprisingly sharp insights. Ethan, in turn, found himself increasingly drawn to her strength, her resilience, and her intelligence. The line between benefactor and beneficiary blurred. They would spend long evenings strategizing, the city lights twinkling below them, their minds and hearts slowly intertwining. He saw the brilliant woman who had been hidden beneath a maid's uniform, and she saw the kind, honorable man behind the billionaire's mask. The day Mia went into labor, Ethan was by her side, holding her hand, coaching her through every contraction. He had canceled a billion-dollar merger meeting without a second thought. As she held her two beautiful, healthy babies in her arms, a son and a daughter, she looked at Ethan, his face filled with an awe and tenderness that stole her breath. He looked at the babies as if they were his own. In that moment, they were no longer just allies. They were a family. That same week, their plan came to fruition. Using the information Mia had provided, Ethan orchestrated a corporate maneuver that exposed the Vance family's corruption, causing their stock to plummet and their empire to crumble. The news of Leo Vance's family going bankrupt was the top headline. One sunny afternoon, a few months later, Ethan took Mia and the twins back to the park where they first met. He got down on one knee, not with a fancy speech, but with simple, heartfelt words. "Mia," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You and the children have changed my life. You've shown me what's truly important. I fell in love with you the moment I saw your fierce spirit on that bench. Will you marry me? Will you let me be a father to our children and your partner for life?" Tears of joy streamed down Mia's face as she said yes. The man who had found her at her lowest point was now lifting her higher than she had ever dreamed. Her life hadn't been changed by a billionaire's son. It had been transformed by a good man who saw her, truly saw her, when she was invisible to the rest of the world. And together, they built a new empire, one founded not on ruthless ambition, but on love, justice, and the beautiful, unexpected family they had created. Thank you so much for watching this incredible story unfold. If you were touched by Mia's journey, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing content. We'll see you in the next video.